Alright, back to my channel, Unlimited Projects. Today we're working on the 6.5 Turbo Diesel Blazer. And we put the Carter electric lift pump in, the upgraded pump. This truck, I did drop the tank. I checked to make sure my sock was clean, made sure my fuel lines were up to par. Always start at the back. Double check all your connections, double check everything as part of your upgrading your fuel system. I then came up here to where the factory lift pump is. You have the bracket on the side of the frame that holds the fuel line. This bracket here bolts to the side of the frame through a bolt right there. I take that existing hole, put my bracket for my lift pump on it, marked the other holes on the outside of the frame. Now I'm working on the outside of the frame to do this. I drilled the other two holes, threaded them, and bolted the bracket to the inside of the frame. I put the nuts on the outside just as a precaution. The frame is threaded, the bolts go right in, so you're not struggling. I took the bolts, they thread into the frame, they held the bracket. Then I came around as a double safety and I put the nuts on with the washers that came in the kit. Connect my 3/8 line up to my 3/8 barb fitting in the pump. I showed how to do that on a previous video of putting the smaller barb on the huge fittings that come with this pump. I apologize for the quality of the video here. Then you can see the second barb here coming out. This goes up to the fuel filter. It is spliced up here a little bit. You'll see the bolts. I then bolt the pump to the bracket through the rubber up there. Then I wire the pump using the old lift pump plug and connecting it to the new lift pump wires, bolting those wires to the positive and negative. The white is the positive, the black is the negative on the factory harness. Plug that into the factory harness. I put some shrink wrap on that to keep it out of the way from getting rubbed through. And that is the upgraded lift pump mounted inside the frame of the 6.5 Turbo Diesel. Pretty straightforward installation, but double check your fuel line, double check your connections. The ideal thing is to get that lift pump pressure to the injection pump at all times. That's what makes these trucks run bad. That's it. Check out my other videos. The previous video will have the factory fittings that come with this, have these huge 1/2-inch nipples on them. I show you, I cut those off, thread it, put 3/8 barb into these because this pump says not to use pipe fittings on it. They're tapered, and I don't know if they'll crack the aluminum housing. I'm not sure, but it says do not use pipe fitting. So I use their fitting, which is they call it a dry fit fitting, and then I tapped it cut it off and tapped it for the 3/8 barb. I showed that in the previous video. And now and then you'll see this is all 3/8 rubber fuel line in and out of this pump. The lines were already cut on the factory lift pump by somebody that I didn't hear, but had this truck before me and just monkeyed everything up. So I'm straightening everything out on it. But they had already cut the fittings that went into the factory lift pump, and they had barbs there. So I'm making sure everything is good and hooking it up without replacing all the stock lines, but I'm hooking up with quality parts. So that's it. Check my other videos. And that's a 6.5 liter turbo diesel upgraded lift pump. And I'll be checking fuel pressure. Thanks for watching. Bye.